holding our tongue. Go get us on the team, yeah, we getting it done. And shout out to Travell, yo, you number one. It started with a dream that turned into a vision. To educate new generations is our mission. Ears to the streets, yeah, we steady politicking. If it ain't about the change, mind your business.
Now wait a Gam and it, wave your hands with it. Wait a Gam and it, wave your hands with it. Now wait a Gam and it, wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it. Now wait a Gam and it, wave your hands with it. Now wait a Gam and it, wave your hands with it. Now wait a Gam and it, wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it.
Turning into another episode of Gam and Mz podcast. I am Gam.
And I am Mz Gogetta.
I mean, you didn't wait till I cued you. Cue you in.
Keep it rolling, honey.
Oh, so you ready today?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Being that you've been absent for like 3 episodes now.
Ooh, you telling my business.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. We're going to behave ourselves today because we have Dr. Reddix with us today. Yes. How are you, Dr. Reddix?
I am fantastic. Happy to be here with you all.
And we are elated to have you. I have to make sure that I use my words correctly today because I don't want to make us look bad. So make sure that I pronounce my words correctly and take my time because I do have a speech impediment. So make sure we're all good. But you said first, she said.
Take your time. Take your time.
That's, you know what, and I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. So how was your weekend, Dr. Reddix?
My weekend was really nice. It was my husband's birthday.
Okay.
He's from the D.C. metropolitan area, so we were there in D.C. celebrating with family and friends, and just got back 3 o'clock this morning.
Oh wow!
So I'm yet hanging on.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah, that's good.
And the whole weekend. The whole weekend.
Oh wow, must be nice.
Yes, he's working.
He's working. Okay. You know, I'm sure that he's very appreciative of that.
I think so. It's been 30 years.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, he's going away. Yeah, he's not going.
We're getting ready to do our vow renewal, so we're getting ready to. He wants to say it again and again and again.
Oh, well, thank God for that.
That's meaning all.
Yeah, that's that. That's So let's go get it. How was your weekend?
My weekend was interesting. I celebrated a engagement party. I think that's all I celebrated this weekend.
Oh yeah, that sounds very interesting.
It was really nice. How was yours?
It was good. It was good. It wasn't that fast as normal, but
yeah.
Anyway, but we're not gonna hold Dr. Reddix because, you know, after all, she's a very busy woman, and we are again happy that she decided to mosey on down a couple of steps to see us. And a ray of sunshine. Like I really like you sitting over in the hot seat. You really look nice sitting in the hot seat.
Your pink is my color.
Oh, it is? Are you an AK?
I am. A member of the illustrious Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
I kept saying it's a reason
it's
why.
The brilliance. It's the brilliance.
I don't know if that's it or not, Dr. Reddix.
Is it the way I comb my hair?
I think it was the pink and green. You know, as growing up as a little girl, I always wanted to be a Delta.
Oh!
Yeah, I did. But either way, you know, life happens. So, but again, we thank you for seriously taking the time to come out and sit and talk with us today. That, you know, people get to know exactly who you are, what you have going on, and we really want to know more about the mustard seed. So we're going to hop right on in after you introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then we're going to hop right on into the mustard seed.
Introduce myself. Where do I begin? Well, I am a native of the Hampton Roads area. Born in Norfolk, graduated from school in Virginia Beach, Cox High School.
Cox, okay.
Went away to James Madison University. So the weekend was good until Sunday when JMU lost the game. But we're just proud that we were in the number.
Right.
Graduated from JMU and then lived in the D.C. area for about 15 years, started my career there, had a lot of successes in corporate America, and relocated back to the area and formed Reddix, which is a healthcare management and technology firm in the federal government contracting space. So we are now 18 years in business.
So congratulations.
That's really proud.
Yeah.
Proud. You know, in the last 18 years, we've had a recession. We've had a pandemic. We've had so many of my peer organizations that started around the time I started are no longer in existence. And year over year, we tripled in revenue.
Wow, that's a
So
blessing.
we have
is.
really, I'm proud that we have, we call our employees associates, our associates all over the United States. And, you know, there are a lot of things that I think we do well. What I'm most proud of is that we have individuals who are gainfully employed, doing well, six-figure well, that they have life insurance, health insurance, 401k. I'm seeing my employees send their children off to college because of what they've been able to gain in our company. So I'm very proud that we work with rolling out legislation for America's healthcare system. So Medicare, Medicaid, Affordable Care Act, affectionately known as Obamacare. We were one of the first organizations tapped to do that work. So a lot to be proud of. So that's, I would say, we call that the mothership because we've been successful as an organization, and that has allowed me to do things in the community.
Okay.
And so about 9 years ago, I went back for my PhD and thought I wanted to study organizational behavior because I recognized, you know, I hired and managed large organizations for other companies like Lockheed Martin.
Okay.
But it was so different when it became my own company. Somehow, making that first hire was with like trepidation because it was on my own dime, my own name, my own liability. You act a fool, it's on me.
Yeah.
It did. And so, but as we grew and then hired 1 and then 3 and then 5, and before I knew it was 100 people standing around me, and I was responsible. I mean, that was heavy.
Right.
When I recognized I was responsible for the livelihood of 100 people all looking at me to make a decision every day.
Right.
You know, I say heavy is the head who wears the crown.
Right.
And a lot of things look glamorous. When I talk to entrepreneurs, everybody wants more and more and more. Be ready for more.
Yeah.
Because, you know, more money, more problems is for real. It is so real. And so I went back because I recognized that I needed to be poured into to figure out how to be responsible for all these individuals. And I learned real quick, it's not just a check that keeps people going. So I went back to school, Oklahoma State University, and thought I wanted to study organizational behavior. I wrote my admission paper and all of that on organizational behavior. And then I was bit by this bug, and it was this literature called expert performance. And somehow started going down the track of entrepreneurship. And I'm thinking, why do I want to spend time studying about being an entrepreneur? I am an entrepreneur.
Right.
But I found that, you know, when you work on your PhD, all you do is read journal articles that are like 50 pages long. And so we're reading and reading, and everything I was reading was saying I wasn't supposed to be where I was today. I am from a teenage mother, born to a teenage mother, born in poverty. We lived in public housing in Norfolk. My mother went away. She, I say, is a hometown hero. She left the area and went off to an Ivy League university, then went on to NYU law school. That was not supposed to happen based on where she was from. And so I was raised by my grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, and the community for the early part of my years. So when my mother came back, and she was a senior leader at AT&T, she took me from where everyone looked like me in Norfolk all the way to the waterfront in Virginia Beach. So about that middle school time frame, when girls are already trying to find themselves, hormones all over the place, you know, I went from where I felt like I was around cousins in school to like nobody was looking like me. And so given that track record, not having my father in my life, but not having my mother in my life in those early years, all the things that the literature was saying, number one, I wasn't supposed to be in a successful marriage for all those years. I wasn't supposed to be.
Is that because you never seen it?
Because the literature says,
Okay.
you know, when you are born in poverty and by a single mother, you're going to have crime around you. You are going to be a teenage mother, right? You're not going to go off to college. I mean, it's just the statistics were just so bleak. And so I decided that if I can do it, then I could use this literature called expert performance, and I can create mini me's throughout the nation. And so my dissertation, I went to 7 cities with the highest level of childhood poverty, and I worked with 419 girls that summer from backgrounds just like mine. And I taught them about using their passions, packaging that, pricing that, and being able to pitch that to adults who are executives. And so I finished the dissertation, I defended the dissertation, I walked across the stage, and my husband and my kids were there. I'll never forget, in Oklahoma, my father-in-law. The hardest thing I've ever done was work on my PhD. And then that dissertation was just off the chain hard. But it felt right because I knew that I was doing more than getting a piece of paper. I left those girls better than they were when I came to them. And so I decided that that was going to be the next chapter, that it wasn't about just the study. So I used that study as the basis of my nonprofit now, and formed Envision Lead Grow, got a dynamic board together. We are now 8 years in. And we are in 48 states. We've worked with over 3,000 girls. We start with them at 12 years old, and we teach them to take their ideas, package it, and become thousandaires by the time they're 14. Because what I know to be true is if you can master becoming a thousandaire and managing that $1,000, then you're creating this discipline, like working out. You're creating this, using this muscle.
The muscle, yeah.
That is all about adding zeros after that. And if you can do that by the time you're 13, 14, imagine who you'll be when you're 30.
You'll be a monster by the time you're 30.
Right, and it's ironic that you said that because my prayer has always been like here recently. You know, when you're talking to God, you're asking him, you know, God, I want this, I want that. You know, I need you to do something. I've been asking him lately to, if you do this for me, teach me how to hold on to that.
Right.
Because we want these things, but it's like, how are we going to hold on to them?
My goodness.
It's going to go just like that. We're going to be right back.
That's right. I really, and it's about, number one, I think what would help with that, actualizing that prayer is recognizing that people are always watching us, always. And life is about learning. And so if we're able to take the lesson, understanding how we got that first 1,000, how we got that first million, it is really, you know what people purchase, like large companies, when you want to acquire, someone wants to acquire your business, the value of your business goes up. What somebody's willing to pay for your business, not because you have so many widgets. That's not what they're buying. The widgets, they have a value for that moment. And then that's it. There's a limit to how much that is. But people, large companies, they acquire you when you have systems. Systems means you have a model that someone can repeat, and they can continue to make those widgets.
Right.
And so I say that to say the value is in us understanding the system that we created in order to get to that first 1,000, to get to that first 100,000, to get to that first million. Because when you can do that, you can repeat it. You know, I always say the 2 most valuable assets. People think your house, people think the car, you know, all of that. 2 most valuable assets are relationships and time. Why?
Right.
You can get money, and what you say, you can lose money. But when you understand the value of time and you use that to build systems and models that you can repeat, that's valuable.
Right.
That way, that time that you spent, it's paying dividends for you because you're going to do it one time, figure out how it's done, and apply it across the board over and over again. So I would say, you know, my motto is, number one, yes, set goals for how much we want to attain and let you use finances.
Okay.
But we really have to focus on building systems to retain. And so much of us run around, try to figure out how much money we can make, and at the end of the day, you don't have anything in the bank, and that's because we focus on the top line.
Not the
We don't focus on the bottom line.
Right.
That's true.
And so the squeeze is in the middle. How much can you reduce the spending in the middle so that you have more at the bottom? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that you made $5 million if you can't find $1.
That's true.
That's true. And then it's terrible because it's like, wait a minute, your paper and everything shows you should have at least half of that, because of course, the IRS going to take a certain percentage, and then you got to pay out a certain percentage. But if you don't have at least that, or maybe just a tad bit less because of whatever extra expenses, then it's really, you just made it just to give it away. And and then you have no track. You be like, where did it go? I had such and such, but where did it go?
And you know what? The happiest people are people who've never made it. It's frustrating to know, now I done touched $1 million and I can't find $5.
Right.
If you've never touched $1 million, you're still striving to get to that million.
Right.
But it is frustrating. Also, anxiety increases when you have seen it. And then,
because
you're mad at yourself.
your anxiety increased because you're trying to hold on to it. You praying for discipline to hold on to it. So it's like you focus more on holding on to it and doing other things to continue to make, so you can still, get to whatever level you want to be at. And the anxiety, oh Lord, child, don't talk about that anxiety, honey.
I think the older I get, the more anxiety kicks in. But Ms. Gogetta, when you just stated that we're trying to do different things, and that is true because you try to have several different streams of income, but while you're doing that, something is going to be lacking.
That's right.
So it's like we have to get to the point where, just like you stated, you have systems, and so that the machine can run accurately without me being there day to day.
That's right.
Which is hard when it's your baby.
It is.
Right. Because you had to nurture that baby too.
It is.
And so it's just like if you have multiple kids, you have to make sure you don't actually show favor to one child. It's like you have to spread your love with all the kids. It's the same thing with your business.
The thing about the business, so I always say organizations are living organisms, just like our children, right?
Right.
And so we go through a process when it's first born. You're trying to find what's the personality of this business, right? What's the DNA going to be? And then as it matures, you got to learn when it's time for someone else to help with the baby. So that's that building the team. But just like the babies, you can't just have any babysitter. We're not going to drop our kids off with anyone.
Right.
And I don't know about you all, but I remember our firstborn, and I was cray-cray. I mean, I was so crazy about, you couldn't breathe on her. You couldn't look at her long. I was going back to work, and I'll never forget that first day I went to pick her up. And there were some folks around her at visiting the babysitter who I just wouldn't trust around my baby. And I remember I picked her up. I went home, I put her in the swing, and I was sitting on the floor like crying. My husband came home, just found me just sitting on the floor crying. I was like, she can't go back, she can't go back. He was like, you got to go to work. I was like, she can't go back. So we found somebody real quick, called my grandma, can you come up? I mean, it was crazy. I say that to say it took us going through about 4 babysitters before we found the one. And when we found the one, she was with that babysitter till she went to school. I'm saying that just like our companies. And sometimes we get so distraught because the first person we hire to team with us, they didn't do it right. The second person, you might have to kiss about 400-500 frogs before you find the prince. And it's got to be okay, because in order for our business to grow, we got to be okay with building a team and not being so concerned about we have to find the perfect team day one. Then it gets to a point, so as we mature, it's time for them to be teenagers. Okay, so They may not look and sound exactly the way that we can control when we could control them when they were babies.
Right.
But that's a natural progression of a business. And if we want to get to the point where we grow our businesses, that we're building an exit strategy, because anything that starts, we got to figure out how it's going to stop. Anything goes up, it's going to come down. It's just some natural things, but so many of us, I'm going to say, in the African American community, we start a business and we just mainly it becomes a lifestyle kind of business. We're not thinking about how to scale it so that we can create that generational wealth. So therefore, we're treating it like it is our baby and stunting the growth that it's always going to be a baby. And so it's a natural progression because it's a living organism. Now, regarding being a serial entrepreneur, it's really important, I think, if we go back to parenting, you know, life happens. Sometimes, you know, you might have a baby and then 9 months later you pregnant again. Okay, that's probably not ideal, but it's a great example of sometimes we are infatuated with being a serial entrepreneur and we may do it too soon.
Okay, yeah.
I called Reddix the mothership. You know why? I can do all these other things now because the mothership is tight and solid and grown up, and I got some babysitters who are great, and now Reddix is driving. It has its license. It's out there. I don't have to go pick it up. I don't have to go. So I can move on and focus on the other things, but sometimes I'm working with, as I mentor and coach, I'm working with businesses. Well, you just started this one. Now you got a nonprofit. Now you got. So what's happening is we're dividing our attention by so many, and we don't have anyone who can watch this one while you work on this one because you don't even know the characteristics of this one because you haven't let it mature enough as an organism. So, you know, I just, when we're talking about the different lanes that we're in, and, you know, sometimes we're creating an environment where we're stressing ourselves out.
True. That's true.
Yes, that's true.
More is not necessarily better.
Right.
I definitely believe that, and I received that because that, you know, but coming from not from where you came from, but coming from, you know, from where I come from, it's like you want to do better, and then your family, your friends put so much pressure on you. You're like, hold on, now, this is ridiculous. Like, I have to keep going because one, I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail. You know.
Myself.
But then it's like
family.
My family, and it's like everybody. It's a lot.
That's very real. Until we get, and I felt that way. There was a liberation, probably year 10, for me in the business. And I'm telling you, being a parent made me grow up about some things I was dealing with, and being an employer made me grow up. It's probably the most thankless job you will have. You know, your kids don't always tell you thank you until they now 27, one of them, and she can go back and say, Mommy, I get why you did. But during the time, oh my goodness, she was having a fit about stuff.
Right.
And I still had to keep moving because I had to see beyond what she could see.
Right.
Same thing with employees. Oh my goodness, I'm signing this check to pay you, and you out there acting a fool, talking about this wasn't fair, and the man, I'm the man, right? The man this, the man that, and not understanding. And then they go other places, and they call me years later to say, do you know I'm shining? I'm shining because of the feedback you gave me.
Right.
So I say that to say that it's really important that we continue to move forward regardless of what others say. The best advice I ever got, and hopefully this could help you and somebody else, never manage your life by compliments or by complaints. Because basically, those are emotional things. The person is, today, they hot about something, they're going to be cold about it tomorrow.
Right.
And so if we live
about it the
end of the week, what have you done for me lately? So it's really important that you find your calling.
Right.
You find your calling. Some will support, some won't support. So what? Because when you are in your zone for where you are destined and supposed to be, I am telling you, in the moment, I remember days where it felt dark because I am providing for so many people and it didn't feel like anybody was loving on me. And so now I'm through that part, but I had to go through it. I couldn't go around it. I had to go through it, and through that isolation, I grew more confident in knowing who I am and whose I am. And so now it does not faze me. It doesn't faze me because I have evidence. I have evidence that it works.
Right.
And so I just would encourage you to really be in tune to what makes your heart sing. What are you being called to? And others, they'll fall in line when it's time for them to fall in line.
Gotcha. Okay, the mustard seed.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about the mustard seed. Now, in listening to you talk about your past and all that, I kind of understand why it's like, I don't know, like you say, you didn't know why you were supposed to go that way, but I believe that was God's plan for you, right? You know what they always say, our plan is not God's plan. You know, say your plan, God gonna laugh. Like, very cool. But now it's full circle for me because it's like now, okay. It's like some people will start things, you be like, okay, well, I don't know. But for you, I can see the mustard seed. So for those who don't know about the mustard seed, explain to us in detail what it is.
Absolutely. I would love to. So exactly what you said, it's the culmination of years and years of experiences. And by the way, those experiences started in the less than ideal circumstances of what people would say is the American dream as far as, you know, what I was brought into as a child. You know, my life's mission is for women to see it's not about how you started. Right. There are opportunities, and we cannot let the past dictate what tomorrow will be. I am determined to live a life that women can see you too can do this because I'm just as normal as you are. I've made certain decisions. I've made certain, what some people would say, had certain failures. I say, I won some days, and then I learned other days. I never lost. I never lost because in those losses, what people would define as losses, I've learned so much about, and I'm a quick study. So I'm not going to make that same mistake twice. Right. It's a collection of those things. So I am just so, I can't tell you, I get goosebumps when I think about the representation of being an African-American woman who had the audacity to believe that I could impact the lives of girls throughout the United States. I remember when people said, girl, 48 states, really? 2,000 girls, and actually the goal was 1,000 girls, and we're already at 3,000. So many people were naysayers. And so I am just so excited to be able to be the demonstration of not just purchasing a building, but purchasing a building that a university had, okay? Purchasing the building without any bank financing. That all women, and I might say all African American women, I offered them an opportunity to invest so that, no, perhaps they can't buy the whole building, but they can say they are part owners in that building. And that in this building, there will be 2 floors, all women-owned businesses who have quality products and services that will offer empowerment to girls and women, not just in Portsmouth, but in 7 cities. I will tell you, it was important to be in Portsmouth because oftentimes, you don't hear the good of Portsmouth. I believe I'm finally allowing it to sink in. I've never saw myself as an influencer, never even thought about it that way, but clearly it exists. And so if I can see value in being in Portsmouth, I believe that I can show others and influence them to view Portsmouth in a different way.
Right.
But in this building on the corner of Court and High Street, I believe we will be the bright light for women and girls throughout the 7 cities. And so in those 2 floors, you walk in, first of all, the artwork is phenomenal.
It is.
Intentionally, every wall has a picture. Just the illustrations is amazing, by a local artist, Trevor Lucas. But every wall, I wanted women to see light skin, dark skin, natural hair, Middle Eastern, Caucasian, whatever, that this is a place for and about us. So when you walk in, we're first going to focus on the health of your purse. So to the right, when you walk in, you have the Wealth Lab. And this is a collaboration with the Old Dominion University Women's Center. And so we just finished a wealth challenge in the building, and the building's not even fully open yet, where we are having coaching sessions with women. This is a grant funded. You come into these sessions and you're learning all about what I was talking about, the top line, the bottom line. How do you stretch the middle so that the bottom line is you're focusing on your profit and your reserves. But the techniques to do that. Did you know, just curious, did you all know that if you have a mortgage, right, one quick trick, you can reduce your 30-year mortgage by 8 years simply by paying your mortgage, splitting it in half, and paying it every other week instead of making one mortgage note. Just how the compounding factor works. It's the same amount you're spending in a month.
Yeah.
You split it up and pay twice instead of once, and it reduces your mortgage by 7 to 8 years. Wow. So we're going through hacks like that. See?
And I asked them about that maybe a few years ago, because I had it set up on automatic payments. I said, can I do it, half and half, pay twice? But it was like, no.
Well, who are you? You got to look at who you're dealing with. And this is actually from bankers that we bring into the class. I'm telling you.
Could they get that money off that interest?
But I am telling you, those sessions are amazing. So it's at no cost. But you all really should register, everyone, because I don't think you can hear about financial education enough. Right. Just different techniques in order to, again, not just focus on bringing in more money, but how do you keep the money? That's the goal. How do we keep the money? So, so that's going on, and then we do one-on-one financial coaching. So many great things happening there. Okay, so then you go to the left. And we have what is the Innovation Lab. And so that is an area that the community can rent. It's 150 conference room seating kind of area. Beautiful, beautiful. In that area, we're also going to be doing some nutritional cooking and education about nutrition. So you handle the health of your purse, and now the health of what you're eating, as well as building community. You continue in the space, and we have what's called the Movement Lab. So we have a woman who owns a yoga studio. Okay. And y'all, this is a beautiful lab. I mean, it's gorgeous. And a lot of times you'll hear about co-working spaces, but there's not co-working spaces for, let's say, non-traditional kind of businesses. If you have an office kind of need, there's co-working spaces for that. But what about people with modalities like ballet, jazz, tap, mixed fit? If you can't afford the overhead of a studio, where are you going to see these people? So then you have to try to go find a gym here or there. Well, she is allowing individuals who have those type of businesses to actually lease space by the hour so they can build their businesses up, build their following without having heavy overhead and long-term leases. So
that's a good idea.
It is amazing. And so we have Pilates, we have ballet, we have ballroom, jazz, tap, mixed fit, line. You know, we love some line dances.
yeah.
Man. I'll wear you out with line dance floor.
I just learned a new one.
Which one?
Yeah, this girl, she has a song called Don't Do Me Right, and she has a line dance to go to it. And it's kind of like a cowboy type thing. But it was really nice. I said, okay. And I've been looking at it all day. I was at my accounting office earlier today. She's like, Chantel, you ready? And I'm sitting there like this, watching it, counting her steps.
Girl, I'm so proud. 5 years later, I finally have Tamia down. Okay, so I'm being there doing the line dance. So that's going on the first floor. In addition, ELG, Envision League Grow the nonprofit, we are now on a campaign called No Place Like Home. So instead of recruiting girls from the 48 states, we're investing all of our time and money here in the 7 cities.
Okay.
So our headquarters is now going to be in the building and will be in Portsmouth. And we're putting a real focus on working with the schools in Portsmouth.
Okay.
Our top performers in that program, remember, these are teenagers. Once they've been with us for 3 years, they're eligible to apply for what's called a fast track. And these girls, instead of working in their businesses, they learn workforce development skills. Because some of the girls, they'll go off and have businesses. Others need to be exceptional at the business of working for others. And so our top performers, we enter them into this program, and they learn project management skills and consulting skills. The first year, they had a program or a project with the construction company was trying to get women and minorities into management in construction. And so they spoke with executives day one. They went back, worked on their plan, came back and pitched to them day 5, and they each got $1,000 for 40 hours of work. So that was impressive. So the second year, they did health equity social media campaign. Again, pitched, did the work, presented, got $1,000 for that work. This year, we gave them the project to create a social enterprise for Envision League Grow that will be run out of the Mustard Seed Place. So 15, 16, and 17-year-olds. Wow. They created the business plan, the marketing plan, all the marketing research and product development for what is called ELG Sweet Boutique. They came up with that. So it is ice cream, coffees, milkshakes, etc. And they are running the business. But what's beautiful is all of our ELG girls will be able to work there and earn a living. That's just, it just gives me goosebumps because it's the reality of full circle from learning about it to actually having a brick and mortar now. So that's the first floor. You go on the second floor, and we have co-working space on the first floor. Go on the second floor, and we are now working with the women's minds. And so we have a mental health boutique, and we name it a boutique. And this is from a licensed psychologist who is the owner of what's called the Well on High. And so this is for women who are busy. They still are feeding into this stigma that goes along with mental health. And so you come into this space and it's plush. It doesn't feel like you are in an institution. And you feel valued while you work on getting your mind right. Across the hall, we have a spa, massages, stretches. It is amazing. Young woman out of Newport News who decided to move her business from Newport News to Portsmouth to be in the building.
That's great.
So it's we have a studio, media studio to learn media coaching for women who are trying to tell their story and can't quite get it there. We have a publishing company. All of these are women-owned businesses. We have an executive coach for women and life coach for women who are partners to those who serve in our country. And oftentimes the women at home, they lose their voice. They don't understand what they need to do. And so she's going to be working directly with them. We have the YWCA Southampton Rose is going to be headquartered in the building, as well as a women's gynecological and breast health center.
And then that top floor is
the top floor is the amazing Trey Elevay, and the story behind this building. The last use of it was TCC Arts building, but the original use was the Famous, and the Famous was an upscale clothing department store.
Okay.
Something like 1916 is when it started by the Famous family. So you can imagine, back in 1916, we weren't shopping there.
Right,
And everyone knows about this African-American woman who was the elevator operator. And I hear a lot of stories about that. But on the third floor was the bridal boutique where everyone bought their gowns. And so we're returning back to that. And it is a bridal venue, 450 people seated, banquet style. It is French inspired. French, think New Orleans kind of flair as far as the internal decor. And then there's a rooftop, and the rooftop will be opening in phases. So that will be open for business. June is our target for the third floor. But March 27th, we are opening the first and second floor.
Okay, so they'll be open for business after the 21st.
27th.
I'm sorry, 22nd. Okay, so the rooftop, will that be a part of the venue?
Yes.
Okay.
That's gonna be. That's gonna be
real nice.
Yeah, it is. And just listening to you speak, you talk about the mustard seed, like you can tell that it's strategically planned. First of all,
Absolutely.
I mean, well thought out. I mean, I'm when you were talking, I'm looking at the body, like the mind, the heart. I mean, the torso, like everything.
You got it.
And it's like a complete package. And I'm like, and I'm looking at you when you're speaking, and you're just smiling. You're happy about it, and I do understand because it was your vision, right? And now you actually get to see it.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure it does something to your heart.
It does, because it's not. Let's be real. We buy real estate as investors. This is probably our 15th, 20th, but we buy real estate as investors. When you can have purpose behind it, so let's be real. We want to do well. Okay, so this is not a nonprofit. This is a for-profit.
Right.
So we want to do well. But you can do good while doing well. So here's the significance here. Each of these women, they're in business for themselves, but they're not by themselves. This is a collaboration. I am their accountability partner. In other words, by the end of April, they have to submit their business plan to me. On a monthly basis, we're going to be going over their numbers. Why? Because sometimes when we're in business by ourselves, we get ourselves in trouble because nobody's watching until it's time for you to pay your taxes, and then you got a situation. So we want to help you not have a situation. And, people say, I want to be my own boss, and I want to. Okay, so first of all, let me repeat this and say it loud for the people in the back. You are never in business and being your own boss, because let me just tell you, Uncle Sam is your boss, right? Your customers are your boss. Your employees are your boss. You have responsibilities, and so sometimes we are our biggest barrier, and sometimes it is our ignorance, and I mean that in the most loving way, ignorance that hold us back from things because we've just never experienced it before. Right. And so it's important that these ladies, when you say that I have a smile, I am seeing these ladies 2 years from now.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing these ladies grow by 10 times how they started. And that is because they will be part of what did I say was most valuable? A system. Right. If it worked for me, and we've done now $340 million-ish with the federal government, it can work for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not just for me. It's for me to be able to go show other people, here is the system. Follow this system. It is proven. Follow the system. So I'm excited because, yes, it was very intentional. Each of these individuals I have mentored in other settings, and they were ready.
Okay.
They are of quality. They are women of substance. It's important that you we don't want this to become a college dorm, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you had to have a certain amount of emotional intelligence to be selected. This wasn't advertised like, sign up, do you want to come into this building? It wasn't that. Because it's so important when you're starting that you have like minds. And that we're going to get to the top together. We're not going to trip somebody else so that you can get to the top first, that we're not having that. So we have guiding principles. It's a very different model about women working together to push each other to the next level. And I'm just excited because, I'm at a place, if you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and your first level is just, can I eat? And then can I have shelter? And then can I have safety? And then when you get to the top, it's self-actualization. All that stuff's taken care of, and I am there, and therefore I have a vision that others may not be able to see because I've been there, done that, and I have enough energy, strength, and desire to help these women climb that mountain. And that's what the mustard seed is all about. It's about if you have faith of a mustard seed. So number one, we think about the characteristics of a mustard seed. It's just a little faith, less than 1 centimeter. Faith of a mustard seed. A mustard seed, when you plant the mustard seed, it grows into one of the largest plants, the strongest plants, but it starts with such a small seed. And that's what this is about. Ladies, come along with me. Just believe enough in yourself. And yeah, they're paying rent. They had to sign a 5-year contract because this is not a in and out. I'm going to pour into you. I need to know that you're committed. I can't have the down. I'm a nice person, but I don't like wasting my time.
Yeah, that's right.
And so if you can commit to yourself, I'll commit to you. But don't ask me to commit more than what you're willing to commit to yourself. And so watching these women make that level, that leap of faith, I know it's going to all work out because I can see it. I can see it so clearly when there were no, the paint wasn't on the wall. I could see what this building could be. And so I'm excited about that, but it's not just about those women. It's about the Womanhood Initiative where we're having membership base. Because we have to commit, again, as a community of women, that we want to change the trajectory of women in our community. And we can do it together. Now, we all have to make an investment. These are small. This is a small investment compared to what was made on the building. But again, for so long, I've done things at no cost to anyone. And I am telling you, it is when you invest you got to have a little bit of skin in the game in order for it to be real for you. I can't keep giving, and then there's no skin. And so you have to show that something is worth it to you in order for you to truly get the full benefit of what the possibilities are. So the Womanhood Initiative is membership-based, but I am telling you, it's pennies compared to what you're going to receive.
Okay. So explain the membership base.
Okay.
What is that about?
Okay. So there are 3 levels of membership, and the membership, it's based on a model that, based on where you are in life, it's important to surround yourself with individuals who are trying to attain the next level.
Okay.
I don't know if you all heard this. I remember my aunt, I shouldn't say my favorite aunt, but she was my favorite aunt. I don't know who's listening. But, she always taught me, Angela, you never dress for the job you have. You dress for the next job where you're going.
Wow. I used to hear that.
Angela, you're always, she called me Angie. Angie, every day you're interviewing for your next position, not where you are. So every day you got to show up and attempt to get sharper by surrounding yourself with sharper people. So the model, I'll shout out to my Aunt Carla, who's deceased, but I think of her when I think about this model, and that is there are 3 levels.
Right.
The first level is for that professional who, young or maybe not so young, but they are newer in the role that they're in. They may be up to manager level, but they have their sights on, wait a minute, there's directors and there's senior directors. I want to one day be there. And then for those entrepreneurs who they've started, so they got their EIN, but they don't have the strategy in place to get to their six-figure level yet. That's the community level. Very affordable, less than about $2,000 for the entire year, which, by the way, if you're a business owner, you can write it off as an expense, okay? This is it's called a community level. So with that, you get, and it's on the website, you get so many benefits. Number one, you have access to the building, the co-working space. So a lot of the model that you've seen, you can get your mail there, etc. But what I'm excited about, on every Tuesday and Thursday, we are doing deep dives into, on Tuesdays, the business of life. So emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, balancing home and life, etc. And then on Thursday, we are talking about money every Thursday. And so women will grow in the business of life and in the business of understanding money. On First Fridays, we will have a national individual who will come, and we're doing fireside chats. This is at no expense to any member because you've already paid for it. It's not that you got to come every Tuesday and a Thursday. However, you have this environment. We're calling it a social and success society, where we're going to socialize, have fun. It's like a happy hour kind of setting, but you're going to get some content that's going to make you say, okay, I got it, by some folks who've done it. And you're building a network with individuals who may not necessarily be in your current network. I think it's important to say, I love experiencing being with my African American sisters. And I am telling you that my growth in my career, I attribute that to, I knew how to navigate different experiences. So this is going to be a melting pot. It's so important that we understand all perspectives so that you can navigate and move in different settings and really understand other perspectives. So I say that to say this is for all women, all ages, all sizes, all races, all women. And so that's that level. And there is a limit to the number of members that we're going to have because we want to be able to manage quality. That's first level. Second level is called the elite level. The elite level is for that director level. They have their sights on being a C-suite one day. It is also for those who've reached the six-figure, but they haven't reached the $1 million level. And so they need to scale. They're trying to understand, how do I get to that next level? This is limited to only 50 individuals in this group, and that is because there will be group coaching sessions. There will be a retreat included in the package. That's that membership, as well as other perks, all the things that I listed for the community level. And then the final level is for that individual who is the VP and C-suite level. That level where you've grown to a point where it's hard to find people who understand you, who can complete your sentence. You got to a point where there's guilt because perhaps people are pulling on you and you have to say yes, but you really need to say no sometimes. It is also for that entrepreneur who's reached that $1 million level. Something changes in our society when someone recognizes that you've met the $1 million level. There's a level of isolation. And so I'm happy for this group because they will find their people. And there are women out there who are doing the thing. And when we're all, in our own circles, it seems like it's more men than women. And it really is. But when you can pull the women together and start growing and learning how to overcome some of the challenges together. And so there's some special programming for that group, but those are the levels.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that sounds interesting. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm just listening to you, and you're so enthused about what you're saying, and I'm like this. I'm like this, like, yeah. But it's really interesting. And, you know, as a business owner, I'm looking at you like, oh, that's my role model right here. Yeah. I'm proud for you. Feel like I don't want to do it, but I got everything going on. I'm starting to think like, oh yeah, this is my stuff right here. Yeah.
You know, and normally we would be like, okay, but I'm like Mz Gogetta. I'm really listening and I'm learning. So it's like a learning time for me. But you know, what I love about this whole idea is that a lot of times people put things together. But we don't have an actual person. Like, we have a model. And being that you don't mind extending yourself and sharing and showing people, this is how I did it. Because people will tell you quick, oh, this, you know, this is how you do it. But then when you get to, i.e., if you go to a conference or something, and you probably want to go to a conference, and they saying, well, we're going to tell you this and tell you that, and we get there, you're like, hold on now.
I'm leaving the same way I came.
The same way I came in. Like, I done bought into a gimmick. But with you, it's like, it goes back to the systems. Like, everything, no one can sit back and challenge anything because it's right there. You have it. That's right. You have it right there laid out for them. The only way you can't see it is Stevie Wonder. That's right. Right. You know, so, and just to hear you speak up, and then just to see the building, and just I can visualize what you're saying, and it's like, wow. I mean, it's no other word but wow. And it makes me think, like, you know, I need to get on my A game. Like, I need to.
I was about to say,
you know,
I need to get on my A game because
I do. So I'm learning that through this podcast, we're meeting people that we would normally meet. Because we only hear about the bad things that people are doing. But it's opening my eyes that it's people out here really doing things. Really out here are change makers. And I consider you as a change maker because it's like, I need to get on my stuff. ASAP. Like, I need to get it together.
I'm gonna need to be a member of everything. I'm gonna need to.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna start off on the first I'm gonna start up and then, you know, and get myself up, because I do realize in speaking with you, everybody not coming in. Like, it's and
that make it good too.
It is.
It make it a real good situation. So there, you know, you get some quality stuff.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're limiting to 200 this first year now. We have been on a media tour, and, you know, they are picking up quite a bit because we finally are at a place that we can talk about it.
Right.
We were just trying to make sure that building over. I don't know if y'all have gone through the permitting process and all of this with buildings and doing all this construction. I'm about to lose my mind with that. But so now we finally are opening our doors, and we can focus on the part that excites me, which is connecting with women. And what I'm telling you, I've been speaking with men, and they are even like, how can I get involved? How can I get the women in my life involved? So they are actually gifting memberships to their women. Oh, okay, you love your woman? Let me just tell you, you want peace at home, happy wife, happy life. So get your woman in this thing. So I would say that there's something for everyone, because I know for sure, I can just tell you in my life, in my household, that when I am whole, I am the culture of the household, period.
Okay.
When I'm on a warpath, the household is feeling it. When I am at peace, let me just tell you, when I drive up and the lawn is not looking, or I open the door and there's stuff everywhere, okay, it's going to change the culture of the house that way. So I'm just saying that women, if you empower a woman, you are empowering a household. If you can empower that household can be the light in that community. You empower that community. You're talking about a city that's on fire in a good way. You are empowering a state, a country, and a world. And it starts with a woman finding her voice, finding her tribe that doesn't look like the tribe. Listen, my college days, I loved my college days. Now, I did graduate. I think it's important people know I wasn't no straight A student. Okay, I got it together for my master's and my PhD because I was paying for it out of my own pocket. But I'm not mad about my college experience because I enjoyed a well-rounded, well-partied college experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. What I know is my girls who have been my girls since college are not necessarily the ones I need to have in my Fab Five today because of where I am today. But I love them, and they're in my, that's my go-to when I just need to let my hair down. But I'm talking about, when we're trying to grow businesses and trying to grow our careers, everything for me is biblical. When I talk about iron sharpening iron, I am serious. You've got to get out of your comfort zone and get into a space where you are meeting people who are not in your normal contacts in your phone. I am who I am today. I can name some names, even in just the Hampton Roads area, who look and sound so different than I look and sound. They have sharpened me in a way that I didn't even know that I needed to be sharpened. So I tell you all this with all the passion and compassion that I can share, that this is a space that a woman deserves to be in. We are only allowing 200 this first year. 100 on that community level, 50 on the next level, and 50 on the final level. And, so I know the spaces will be gone, and it's not about quantity. It's about, we want every one of those women to go run tell someone about their experience. I'll just share with you, and maybe this is close to closing. We started the Wealth Challenge. It was a 5-week program, 2 days a week with the ODU Women's Center. I asked the women day one to give me the one word emotion, one word that described their emotion about finances. When I tell you the tears were flowing, I know that they would not have been flowing if we were on ODU's campus. They wouldn't have been flowing if we were in a different setting. I am telling you, I pray over these names before we start, because it is about setting an atmosphere where women can disarm and just be real and raw. And so just like that, the emotion. So imagine, because you've kind of removed kind of the air of I've got to come in here looking a certain way, and you already day one within the first 30 minutes releasing like that, the connection those women had, it was incredible. Fast forward 5 weeks. One of them said depressed. That was the emotion. Why did she come in week 5? I challenged them with a small goal for some, but a big goal for others. One of the challenges, by the end of the 5 weeks, they had to save $1,000.
Okay.
Small challenge for some, big for others, depending on the circumstance. This one said the one said depressed. She ended, and she was in tears at graduation, but her tears were tears of joy. She said that she was empowered. She'd saved over $1,000. She had been in a car accident in November.
Wow.
She'd gotten a settlement. The settlement was $10,000 more than all the debt that she had. She said that, before she took this class, she would have spent that on a car or something. She paid off her debt, but used one of the tips we gave her. Do you know she was able to get her debt down? So she didn't even have to pay off as much debt as she had. And now she's investing the rest of the money. She's not spending it. She's investing the rest. What I'm trying to say is that was just 5 weeks. And it's not because I have some magic dust that I sprinkle on anyone, but I'm telling you, I share my books. I share my personal information, because most of us can't be, because we've never seen.
Yeah, that's true.
And so if you can reach out and touch me, that means it's a possibility for you. It's right there. Just reach out and grab it. And so I'm just at a space of use me. This is my every day before I go into the office, because I don't know what I'm going to be hit with. Whatever the dog chewed their homework up and they got an attitude, I don't know what I'm going to face. But I say in the car, if you can use anything, Lord, you can use me. If you can use anything, Lord, use me. Touch my heart, Lord. Touch my hands, touch my feet, touch my heart, speak through me. That is my mantra every morning. And so if I can go into it with that, I don't really care if you, I don't take myself so seriously I can't laugh at myself. Right. And I'm going to share with you my weakness. So after I tell you, okay, I really can't sing, when I take the mic and sing, what you gonna say? You can't sing? No, you gonna say, oh, you sound better than you say. Yeah, because I'm gonna under-promise and over-deliver. Okay, that's it. So really what I'm saying is the words, the criticism, and the compliments don't get to me because I know my purpose. I said, use me. And so when you can operate from that space, there's no stopping us. So I'm excited for the 200 women that I'm going to be blessed to work with, that I'm going to be proud to say I was a chapter in your life. And if anything that I've done for you made you say I was depressed and now I'm empowered, sign me up.
And that's absolutely.
Sign me up.
That's true. So I have learned a lot. I really have. Like when I tell
I'm ready to sign up myself. I'm like,
how can people, how can people contact you? How can people
sign up?
In the Mustard Seed?
So the website, first of all, please follow us on Instagram. And I'm going to look because the website is, I get them mixed up, y'all, so I apologize. It's all new. But the website is themustardseedplace.com. And the social media is mustardseedplace.com. And I am going to confirm that right here, right now. I got a lot going. Somebody said you should have your publicist on screen, but sometimes you got to do stuff. Okay, so on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, we are the Mustard Seed Place. And then on our website, we are mustardseedplace.com. So go there, register for the memberships while they last. We are about to start rocking in April, and it's just going to be incredible. So stay tuned. I believe this is a model that we're going to see replicated across the country. We have ideas about where we're going with phase 2. But Portsmouth has been good to us. Let me just say that. Portsmouth, the support we've received from those in the city hall, etc. We've been working them. We're there every day. Yeah. But so far, it's been so good, and I can't wait to see everybody on March 27th.
Yes. March 27th.
What time?
9:30, but get there at 9. They're blocking the city, y'all. This for real, for real. They're like blocking High Street and Court Street. We have a lot of dignitaries coming out. It's going to be amazing. We're doing guided tours. And really just want everyone to have the experience just as I described. And so we have a lot of things that we have planned, a lot of partners coming on. And I didn't mention, we do have corporate packages. So we really see this as an opportunity for companies to pour into their high-performing, high-potential female employees a great benefit to offer. And so please see us for the corporate packages.
Wow. I'm sitting here, I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys, and just to, again, like just listening to you talk about it, it's just like, I don't know, I really don't have the words, honestly. I really don't. I'm really truly excited though. I do know that. I'm excited for the women who are already there. Because I know when what I think it was Don Scott.
Uh-huh.
I think it's about talk to one of the young ladies who was there doing cooking and something like that. So they're excited. So just to see people excited about where they're about to go.
Yeah.
And like you said, some of them probably have no idea. But you know, like I believe that like some people, God gives provision, and then others He gives vision.
That's right.
You know, so you're definitely chosen. You're one of those people.
Well, you know what? I think I'm His favorite. I know that I am favored, and that's why I won't do anything without giving Him all the glory.
Right.
I am just a vessel, and I don't get it right all the time, but I can tell you that I strive to represent Him well first, represent Olivia Maggie Dyson, my grandmother, well second, and then represent myself well third, and in that order. And that keeps me, even when I want to take a shortcut, that keeps me saying, girl, do the right thing.
That's
because it's not about just the end result, it's about the process. And showing, you know, Mary, it's the God in you. Or it's the God in me, that I just want to make sure that I represent that well. And I don't think you have to have a Bible beat people over the head with the Bible. No, you live every day. You live the principles.
Right.
And then that draws people to you, and they say, like in that Harry Met Sally movie, I want what she's got, and then I can break it on down for you. But it has to be the intrigue of it all, because we all out here doing the best we can, and if we can be a little bit of light for somebody, and then more people, you're demonstrating what you want other people you're demonstrating what you want other people to emulate.
Right.
And so if we do that, then more positivity, I think we'll see.
Well, yeah, but I have enjoyed our time. So, you know, we've listened to you talk and explain to us all of what the mustard seed is about. So we always ask our guests how their time has been since they've been on Way to Gam Minute podcast. So, you know, you're up next. You're in the hot seat. So we need to figure out from you. And we're not going to beat you up, so we need you to be honest. We need you to be honest and let us know how your time has been chilling with us this afternoon.
It's been easy. It's been easy, you know. And I say that, and I tell my best friend, look, life is hard enough out here.
Right.
I'm looking for some easy sometimes, where I can just relax, be comfortable, don't have to worry about am I sitting this way, sitting that way. It's been easy. So that is a compliment coming from me, because it's hard out here for a pimp. So we gotta. I don't need to be hard all the time. I need to be easy.
Yeah, definitely. So, Ms. Gogetta, do you have any final words before we wrap up?
No, I just really enjoyed, and I just want you guys to go ahead on out there and get this membership.
That's
because
right.
it's limited, and I'm going to get mine. I'm telling you now.
Well, first of all, from the website, the elite is invitation only.
The legacy level.
So,
but if you have someone who you want to nominate, we want to hear from people. But we do, because of what that level is doing, we do screen to make sure it's a good match for that level.
What's up, family? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Way to Gam Minute podcast. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Hit that notification button as well, so when we drop a new episode, you'll be first to know. Stay tuned to all things